Good afternoon, everyone. Caresoft Technology would like to welcome you to our PlatCore webinar. Before we get started, I would like to quickly go over a few housekeeping items. The audio portion of this webinar can be heard through your computer speakers, or if you prefer, you can listen through your phone using the dial-in option displayed on the screen. Please note that all lines have been muted to reduce any kind of background noise during the presentation. If you have any questions about the webinar, use the Q&A pod on the left side of your screen, and we will do the best to answer at the end of the presentation or follow up with you offline. This webinar is being recorded and a copy will be emailed to you. Just to tell you a little bit about Caresoft, we are a trusted government IT solutions provider delivering software and support solutions to federal, state, and local government agencies, as well as education. Caresoft maintains dedicated teams to support sales and marketing for all of its vendors, including ServiceNow, Google, F5 Networks, and Adobe. Our contact information will be provided at the end of the presentation, so please feel free to call or email us. At this time, I would like to introduce our speaker for today, Jon Becker, the CEO of PlatCore. Jon, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kirsten, Brooke, and Caresoft. Thank you for hosting us. We really appreciate that. Before I get started, I'll give just a little bit of background on me. My name is Jon Becker, and I founded PlatCore, which is a learning management system that uses the technology of ServiceNow to deliver training. I founded PlatCore nearly 4 years ago to meet the real need for a native ServiceNow LMS. PlatCore is an elite ServiceNow technology partner, and we're strong believers in technology in service to people. And we've built our product to make training easier for learners and administrators. Now, we're excited to be here today and talk about learning management and its incredibly important role, as well as how the Now platform is helping us innovate the traditional learning management system. Now, we're thrilled to be able to share what other public sector companies are telling us is critical to them as well. And lastly, we'll show our latest release of our product and how it's being used in some very creative ways at some of our customer sites. So for today, first we'll level set a bit and talk about native apps on ServiceNow and why that's important. And next, we'll dive right into the key features that we found that our government clients have demanded from us, and also what's truly important to them. And I'm also proud to be able to demo our latest release, and then we'll close with a few of our customer success stories and how you can learn more about both PlatCore and Caresoft. First, to level set us just a bit, we really have two intersecting worlds here. We have learning development and IT. So let's first talk about what a learning management system, or an LMS, really is. So learning management systems help deliver, track, and report on employee training. They're commonly used for compliance purposes, and LMSs also provide audit trails for legally mandated training. But on the other side of the coin, our L&D people may be wondering, what is ServiceNow? So ServiceNow is an industry-leading software platform that acts as a hub for important company data and business workflow optimization. So PlatCore's LMS is built on the ServiceNow platform, and we also shared their commitment to make work better for people. And today we can't wait to share some of how we're creating some truly great employee and customer experiences for training. So our learning management system is built directly into your ServiceNow instance, and that lets us do some really interesting things. First, we can consolidate. So your current ServiceNow instance has world-class security, scalability, reporting, and all that functionality. All of that is already built in. So it also maintains a large amount of critical company data. And it's what ServiceNow's CEO, Bill McDermott, calls the platform of platforms. So in other words, it's an important hub for other systems. But leveraging the Now platform for your LMS really provides some powerful outcomes. And today we'll show you some of those possibilities. Next is to be able to automate. So you can remove repetitive manual tasks, which means you have more time to improve training and better utilize your overall training budget. It also means you have repeatability, consistency, consistent tracking, and much more. And automation is one of the things that ServiceNow does best. And finally, we provide great consumer-grade learning experiences and centralize all of your relevant training all in one easy-to-use location. Now, we built our product on ServiceNow because it helps put this phenomenal technology in service to people. So what does it mean to be a native application? Well, like ServiceNow modules, native applications are built directly in and on ServiceNow using customizable tables and workflows available on the platform. And this allows the native application to be part of the existing IT ecosystem, which is extremely powerful for sharing information with departments such as IT and HR, or systems such as ERP and CRM systems, just to name a few. So for PlatCore, as an example, you can leverage your data to connect employees to the exact training that they need, and in turn build a native repository of their training history on their employee record. And you can do this all within ServiceNow. An additional benefit is the Now platform's accelerated development time. So native applications extend the ability to automate business processes across people, data, systems, and workflows. And your company gains detailed real-time insights through dynamic reporting and intelligent dashboards provided inside ServiceNow. So in short, native applications provide more connective power, and they remove custom and costly integrations. So just a quick plug for the ServiceNow store as well. The ServiceNow store has over 150 Now certified applications that cover a wide range of capabilities, and there are lots of pre-built solutions for facilities management, enterprise architecture, asset risk management, and more. So, okay, I hope that gets a bit of background as to what we are and what we do. And with that, I'd like to open up a polling question. So we know a bit about those who registered for this presentation, but we don't know exactly what brings you here. So if you could, please take a quick moment to let us know about some of the challenges you may have faced in delivering employee training and learning management specifically. And based on those challenges, we'll be happy to address those topics today as we can. And of course, for anyone joining us today that is not familiar with the details of their company's learning and development, just think back to the last time you took training. I mean, could you find what you needed easily? And what was your training experience like? So we'll give you another moment to submit an answer. And we frequently hear the issues above from our customers, but please let us know in the chat if you have any additional challenges or things that you might have experienced. So Brooke, if you could, you can go ahead and close the poll and let us know what results you're seeing.
Absolutely, yes, I'll go ahead and close that, but looks like majority rules with just poor user experience. Following after that, though, is going to be learning silos.
Cool, thanks for that. We actually hear a lot from our customers about the user experience and how that's not great. But really, this is blocking and tackling, as your training should be an enjoyable experience. But frankly, it is something that's often ignored. But having that great user experience does drive adoption, and we hear that complaint very often. In addition, around learning silos, clients often come to us with a multitude of different learning systems, and of course, none of them communicate. So reporting is very difficult, and frankly, how is even reporting on compliance even possible? So we'll try to address some of those here today. So I wanted to share just some larger answers from others in our industry, and they do share your pain around a number of things you just talked about. Their LMSs are clearly silos. They're unable to integrate with many other systems that they need to interact with, and that leaves a lot of manual, time-intensive processes and limits the scope of their learning programs. Of course, cost is another huge pain point. Rather than LMSs helping you control training spend and showing an ROI, they just consume a vast amount of the budget, and then they offer poor reporting, so it's hard to justify those systems and that spend on those systems anyway. So the trend of that complaint, though, is that LMSs are disconnected systems. They drain a bunch of resources. So we'll talk a little bit today about how to change that. So I'd like to dive into the 5 key features of a modern government LMS. You might not think of great user interfaces or great user experiences when you think of the public sector, but easy-to-use interfaces help drive adoption and make your learning more enjoyable for your learners. And this helps, of course, with compliance, retention, and also workforce skills growth, which is incredibly important. So our first recommendation is to make it easy to find training with one central location that combines all your training catalogs. And ideally, the user needs a single learning portal, so this is why they know where to go, and it's available anytime, anywhere, and also on any device. And this makes training easier for learners, but it also helps control costs and reduce administrative tasks, and even helps create better analytics. So another key component is providing the consumer-grade experience that we've all come to expect. A great learner portal gets people to what they want intuitively and easily, and it stays out of the learner's way. Now let's go to the heart of learning, and that your learning solutions should work with you versus against you. And using data to tailor training to an individual user is another important way to significantly improve the learning experience. This is most helpful when you have information that needs to be communicated to a specific role. So this data can be used to proactively present courses that help employees in their jobs or in expanding their careers. And of course, lastly, content is king. You already have a wealth of information already within your organizations. And these can be in PowerPoint presentations and PDFs or videos, for example. And all of this material can be helpful to deliver as training. Ideally, you want to be able to provide the right information to the right people and, of course, at the right time. So, for example, on the first day, employees form and often permanently opinion of your agency. Now, what content can you provide them that will motivate and excite them? In addition, limiting user access to training is great for security. And it also has another benefit of only presenting useful information. So when you use roles and groups to help control training access and visibility, you make the system actually more robust and have less noise in it, as only appropriate trainings are presented to the learner. Our second key feature is accountability. And now I know technically this isn't a feature, but it's an outcome. However, it is critical nonetheless. So let's talk about some of the key things that are required to drive that accountability. So accountability relates not just to your learners, but to managers and even executives. The common thread here, though, is clear communication. So for learners to be accountable, they need to understand what is expected of them. And this can include dashboards and notifications, such as emails or text, to make learners aware of what is expected. Now, many of our customers have seen dramatic results in increasing learner accountability. They can now more closely manage costs and subscriptions, ensure course attendance, and even guarantee training to gain access to important resources, such as door codes, groups, security access, and more. Managers are also being held accountable for the progress of their teams. This means they must monitor the progress, manage approvals, and ensure appropriate escalations. So again, dashboards, notifications, and reports all help keep them informed so they can ensure their compliance objectives are being met. And lastly, executives need a broad view of organizational-wide progress. And they will monitor agency compliance and training outcomes to ensure their training investments are being maximized, but also that their risk is being minimized. So they're also able to take actions appropriate to ensure any audits are easily completed. Our third must-have feature is the combination of automation and flexibility. And these things really go hand in hand, because in order to work in a highly regulatory environment, many government agencies require this flexibility within their own organizations. So in general, automation allows your learning and development teams to step out of menial administrative tasks. And one example of this is creating smart assignments. And perhaps these recur on a set schedule or are triggered dynamically when events happen inside your organization. Now, this allows you to create rules around your training and have a more consistent outcome throughout your organization. Within the public sector, certifications and certification management ensure legal compliance to maintain important credentials. Proactive notifications and assigning Delta training can take some of the busy work away from your learning and development teams and ensure consistent compliance and certifications are currently up to date. And training roles also allow a completely unique and flexible approach to assigning training. So creating roles such as a manager or even something technical such as a forklift driver allows you to provide a wide variety of suggested or required trainings for those groups. And as we mentioned, government agencies have a great deal of unique requirements. There are custom business processes, workflows, security perimeters, controls, and much more. Now, lack of flexibility of most LMSs has led many agencies to create custom systems and also at great expense. And in addition, your learning solutions must continue to adapt and evolve to your organization as you evolve and change. So here are a few questions you may want to ask. Does your system have the flexibility to meet your specific business processes, integrate with additional training workflows such as HR onboarding, or connect training with other systems? And can you adapt your system through low-cost or low-code or no-code configuration? And can you access different workflow capabilities that allows you to bring your training into the flow of work? And does your learning solution have that open technical architecture that allows you to connect training to other systems such as various HRSs, performance management, and much more? Our fourth key feature is reporting. And yes, I know, everybody says they can report. However, we found the data is often questionable, it's unreliable, and it's often out of date. And most agencies are using multiple systems, so exporting data to spreadsheets and then trying to merge the hodgepodge of stuff into something that's insightful is very difficult. And I want to ask yourself, do you trust the data that you're using to make important decisions? So reporting answers a few questions. First, what is the impact? And as Warren Buffett would say, the ROI is the way to keep score. And unfortunately, if we aren't keeping score, we're often losing out. So training programs that can show an impact, and frankly very few can, are no longer viewed as cost centers. They can defend and grow their budgets. And as we face potential cost cutting, we encourage you to find metrics that will illustrate the critical importance of training programs in your organization, and as much as possible, get an executive audience. And the next question that it can help answer is, are we compliant? What are the gaps in our requirement? Are staff electing training? Are they upskilling? Are they taking courses on their own? And are your team certifications current? And we have a public sector client who is mandated by a contract to ensure all employees take a minimum of 10 days of training per year. And they're leveraging the PlatCore LMS to get that information into the hands of their executives who can ensure action is taken to catch up if employees are falling behind. It also helps prevent any union issues down the road. They have an instant audit trail to show that they fulfilled that requirement or not. We find that most organizations really struggle to do this, and we're proud to be able to help. But regardless of your platform, we've seen the value of a single source of training data that you can rely on and that you know is right. And lastly, this is a super dry topic. However, it's also super important, which is security and hosting. Regulations are complex, and finding learning systems that can be compliant can be a challenge to bring them into your specific environments. The first set to consider is hosting flexibility. Now, this includes cloud data center capability, reducing your administrative and hosting burdens. In public sector, ServiceNow companies are generally in a FedRAMP data center supported by ServiceNow. But for some public sector agencies, they also need the ability to have on-premise hosting solutions, and on-prem solutions allow you to have complete control over your data center, redundancy, security backups, and the like. Next, it's expected that security controls are built right in. So listed are just a few of the standards required, but we won't go into one specifically. But I invite you to go to the ServiceNow Trust site at the listed URL below for more information. This also happens to be one of the best kept secrets of native ServiceNow applications, which is riding the rails of ServiceNow extends that safety and security of ServiceNow to your learning solution. And our team hand Carousel can also address any specific concerns, but we're uniquely positioned to be able to meet a wide range of requirements around security and hosting. So I'm excited to be able to provide a sneak peek at our amazing new experience for learning with PlatCore and ServiceNow. And the theme of our latest release, 3.0, is about great learner and admin experiences. And learners will find it easy to get to the information that they need and in fewer clicks. But our new simple catalog makes it simple for learners to find exactly what they want, simply and really fast. We've also made a beautiful experience for them to make them want to learn and want to adopt your learning platform. But on the admin side, it's also now faster to build a course than ever before with our new course builder. And we've included some pre-designed image assets to make a beautiful catalog. And we've included more content types supported, as well as designed the experience with learning and development admins in mind, helping them, frankly, helping them stay focused on the work of curriculum development versus IT administration. We're also introducing training roles, which lets you assign required and optional training for specific roles. And this brings another level of flexibility to assigning training into your organization. In addition to ServiceNow Orlando version support, we also make it easier to get live even faster with our new guided setup. So you can get up and running quickly, but now you can have more confidence that everything's configured properly and nothing is missed. So we've taken a massive leap forward in ease of administration, and we've added some crazy powerful new features to further automate training. So let's go ahead and dig right in. What you're seeing here is our new learner dashboard. And Able Tutor has logged in. Able has used his current ServiceNow or Active Directory ID, so he doesn't have another ID to remember. But let's take a little tour around the dashboard. So in the header, you can see exactly what Able's got to do, what's completed and what's overdue. But on his dashboard, right in front of him, he's got courses that are in progress, so you can see what he's been currently tasked with. He's got a required course that's necessary for him. And Able can also bookmark this activity as well, so he can come back to various courses later. On the right-hand side, you see we've got a news widget, so you can promote different trainings and present information to learners very intuitively and have that available to them right away. You can also gamify it for the users if you so desire, but we also have the training roles. And this is where one of Able's roles is a cyber ops specialist, but he's also got training available to him that he can go to directly from that training role widget to get to the information that he needs to do his job even better. So as I mentioned, this is your dashboard, but on the menu, we've also got a catalog, we've got transcripts, and of course Able's profile, so you can do some other information there. And you can also search for things. So if you don't know exactly what you want, you just want to go to a specific course, you'll be able to search for it right there. Let's go into the catalog. Apologies there, we just got kicked out. We're back in. So let's go into the catalog. So right here, we have a card view of our catalog with everything that's available for us. So you see various courses that are all configured and available for Able by his ServiceNow, his learning development admin. We also can see things in a list view. So you can see different, a little bit more detail in things. But what's really interesting here is we also have a catalog view for a card view. And this allows Able to be able to see things for instructor-led training. So you can see things in a catalog when things are going to be happening specifically that Able may be interested in. You can search for various courses there in the catalog as it grows, but you can categorize things very easily. And also you can have training types available for you here. So you can have courses or learning plans or instructor-led and search specifically by various types of things. Let's go into our LMS example course. We'll just have a look at the player experience and what it means to be able to bring everything together inside of a course. So here you have a summary. You can have materials available for Able, but also lesson descriptions, reviews, things like that. Let's just go ahead and start this. So I'll walk us through just a little bit of the content types to the right. So you have a wide range of content here, such as videos, for instance, like YouTube, Vimeo, MP4, various document types. So you can bring in PowerPoints and PDFs, Word documents, as well as knowledge-based articles available. You can also have activities. So you can have graded activity and checklists, and bring in websites, such as Wikipedia articles, things like that, and then being able to assess things. The training is also tracked automatically. So as somebody watches a video, you can run that right through, and it automatically tracks the progress and marks completion for you. Same thing for all these documents. So you can mark things as read and then walk your way through each of these things. In the graded activity, here you can blend offline activities such as working with managers to complete verified tasks and having those things checked checked by them. Same thing for checklists. You can easily have a checklist that people can check, and then other people can look at that and validate that. The website content, you can bring in things very easily there. Same thing for quizzes. So you can have all predefined quizzes and have like videos and then an assessment to validate people have completed activities. So that's roughly the player experience. But now you can also have the transcripts. So this is where things that are completed are recorded here, and then somebody can go ahead, view their certificate right from this one page. But if they want something even more specific, they can download their entire transcripts so they can take that between agencies and prove that they've been able to complete certain activities through those agencies. So with that, let's flip over to the admin side. So while Abel was looking at things from an individual perspective, now we're seeing things from an organizational perspective. And I should note, this dashboard is completely click-throughable, so you can actually just find a date and click through any of these reports to have access to the detail that's underneath everything. But just as on the learner side, we had courses that were to do, overdue, or completed, we can see that organizational wide now. You can see reviews, course lists, things like that. But as I mentioned, everything is configurable, so you can change this to your own specific needs within your organization. Let's walk through just a little bit in our menu here. This is our main dashboard, and you'll spend a lot of time just looking at that, which has a lot of information. But you also have 4 areas. So you can manage your content, including courses, instructor-led events, learning plans, quizzes, and training roles. You can manage your activity for things like achievements, things that people have completed in essence, assignments. You can manage certifications, gradebooks, news, quiz instances, registration reviews. We'll go into some of those in some detail in a little bit. There's approximately 30 out-of-the-box reports that we ship, but if these don't meet your needs, you can either configure and change the reports that are shipped or create new ones. And then in the setup, you have the ability to have guided setup and set up your categories and schedules and properties and things like that. So what I'd like to do is just find one of the courses that we just created there, which is this LMS example course. I want to go into that. This is our new course builder experience, and it's really designed to walk you through the process of naming your course, the descriptions, creating images, defining what type it is, moving into properties, so you can assign categories for those to help people search for them easier. You can even tie a course or a learning plan to certification. So if you have a plan that people have to go through, you can have a certification that's granted at the end of that plan. The crux of this, or the heart of the matter, is your curriculum inside each of these. So this is exactly that LMS example course we just looked at. So it has the video content for YouTube and Vimeo and MP4s and all of this content. And you can quickly put all these things together in a very easy way. And if you want to design or add more content, simply add content and select the type that you want, fill out a few things, and then assemble that into your course. And you can also preview the courses now so you can actually look at them as a learner would experience them before they're published out into the catalog. We talked a little bit about training roles on the front or on the learner portal. So I'd like to show a little bit about what those look like. Here's a role that is available and configured for cyber operations. You might have this role, you might have one for any number of different activities, but now you can assign courses directly to that role or learning plans that are necessary. And then you can assign that role to individual users, and then you have a really good guided approach to being able to have good assignments to people that they understand what they can go do when they need to for those training roles. And by the way, you can grant certifications also with those at the end of that. So let's move into our activity briefly. And I wanted to show certainly the achievements, so you can now start to see, like, as people complete things, what is actually happening. So you'll be able to see that. But the one area that I know we see a lot in the public sector is around certifications and certification management. And there's a certification that's also active. So we're able to track these and tie them to either the courses or frankly just certifications that you can grant manually, but that's up to you. But you see with a certification, we can auto expire it after a year, and notifications and communication is going out to managers and employees to let them know that something has been expired. But if you want to go further, you can actually auto assign Delta training or Delta learning plans earlier than that. So people can constantly be made aware that they need to keep something up to date. And then, of course, you can see exactly who holds what certification immediately. And all this information is within your system. So, of course, it's all reportable as well. So I wanted to go into our guided setup. It's one of our new features that we've got here for this release, but just to give you a quick understanding of the breadth and the scope of what we offer. But it helps you get up and running very, very quickly. So it helps with your installation, but also branding, making sure all your properties are set up and how you want to configure the system to work, notifications, catalog management, workflows, all those things. That's all done within the guided setup. And it's very easy to get up and running very, very, very quickly there. But in addition to some of the guided setup, I did want to show just a couple of things. One is the categories, and this is all definable, so you can have categories that show up in your learner portal that learners can search by and get the information quickly. Another key area in this setup is around assignment schedule. So you can assign courses, whether it's like annually, monthly, or quarterly. These are what we ship you. However, if you want to create new schedules and new assignments, recurrences, you can also set those up here as well. So let's have a look at a typical scenario and just show you kind of how easy it is to go through some of this stuff. So the first thing we want to do is assign a security awareness course to Able. Able will take that course and then it will be complete. So let's go ahead and assign an IT security awareness course. And we will just select Able. We've been working with him. But this could be to hundreds or thousands of people as easy as it is to Able. We'll find ourselves a due date. Let's go ahead and submit this. So here's that assignment that we just had. And it also has that Able's got this thing ready. So let's go verify that. And Able has got this assignment actually right on his homepage already. And it's also in his required tab. And eventually, once that assignment is passed due, he'll get some badges in one right up there in required to let him know that this is something he needs to take action on. So let's go ahead and go into that. And I've got a very simple course here, but what it's doing is it's actually just bringing in a PowerPoint presentation like many of you may have for your IT security awareness training. So I'll just walk through all that. Say I completed it. I won't review that, but now it's gone. So it's no longer an Able's to-do bucket. But if I went over to his transcript, he's got the IT security awareness training. He just completed it. And he can bring up his certificate and it has the dates and things like that you would expect, right? And that's really impressive. But what's even better though, if I go over here, I can see that in Able's achievements. So he's just completed his IT security awareness training and it's done. That's all in real time. And it will show up on his dashboard so you can see the courses that are completed. Right there, he's got his IT security awareness training. But you can also report on this. You see also, oh, here's Able's training. We just completed that right now. So all of this is done real time, and it's very easy to get your hands on the data in a very, very impactful way. So that's a little bit about the demo. I'd like to just jump back to our presentation and just talk a little bit about what some of our customers have been doing. So one of our public sector, actual international customers, is Townsville. And they're in Australia, and it's a major government community and business hub. And they operate in, again, a highly regulated environment like many of us do. And their staff ranges from veterinarians to botanists to engineers to gardeners to accountants to lawyers. And each of them have their own unique learning requirements. So PlatCore was the only learning management system capable of operating within their existing systems. So ServiceNow had already been vetted for security, data integrity, reliability, and support. So PlatCore didn't really pose any of those issues of security risk and data integrity of our other learning management systems. But in addition to that, Townsville IT team, they already had the knowledge and skills to be able to provide the ongoing support for us. So as Marie Jackson, which was the Townsville project manager, said, when I found PlatCore, I was grateful to learn that it integrated seamlessly within our existing systems and greatly reduced both our time and risk to deliver training. Now, in addition to sitting on their existing ServiceNow platform, PlatCore also allowed them to remove both their training content and data records platforms. I want to stop right there because that's actually two different systems plus a learning management system that we consolidated to a system that they already owned. So we took three systems and brought it down into one. But given the ease of creating training, Townsville was also liberated from costly pay-per-view training content as well. Townsville also premiered some new training roles to tailor training to each individual. And their learning dashboard gives a quick view of current and upcoming and overdue training as well. So of the Townsville's 1,600 staff, about half of them completed a course within the first 12 days of implementing PlatCore, and the training enrollment time decreased monumentally, and also manual entries per month decreased again from nearly 1,000 plus manual entries to zero because PlatCore provided a 100% automated process for managing those registrations. So overall, Townsville has dramatically improved its training efficiency through fewer systems to manage. It streamlined its business processes and automated training workflows. The L&D team is no longer mired in administrative tasks, which means a better quality of life for them, and also the ability to better serve the learners, and that's critical. They're also freed from content vendors, so the agency is now expanding its training capacity beyond mere compliance to on-demand needs-based education. So if you'd like to read more about this particular story, as well as many others, those are available on our blog page at platcore.com. So with that, we've come to the end of our presentation, and I'd like to thank each of you for joining, and we'd be happy to answer specific questions you may have now, and you can certainly answer those in the chat box. We did try to keep this presentation fairly high level to fit the needs of a very diverse audience. So please let me know if there are more technical questions or questions about how we operate from a learning management perspective. I'll be happy to answer those here now, or we can also schedule a follow-up to talk more about your specific company needs. We partner with Carahsoft to smooth the procurement process as well and make PlatCore easy to acquire. So even if you're approaching the end of the fiscal year with funds available, we can turn a contract around very quickly with them. They're very, very excellent at that. As just depending on your needs, to ensure you don't lose those funds at the end of your fiscal year. So hopefully we've given you some time to submit any burning questions that you may have. Kirsten or Brooke, has anything come through the chat?
Hi, John. Thank you so much. We do have one question, and it is, how do you complete mass assignments, for example, 250 plus participants?
Sure. So we have several ways to do that, actually. You can assign content to groups. So this could be groups with 100 people or 1,000 people or 10,000 people. And those are based on the ServiceNow groups there. And you can assign individual courses or multiple courses, as well as individual learning plans or multiple training plans. But if you also need to get more granular, you can use our advanced assignment feature and assign things by location or state or building as well. So there's lots of granular ways that you can assign courses to as many people as you need.
Thank you. Another just came in as well. Actually, two more. Do you have courses already available to vet?
So we leverage content partners to provide some of the courses because there's been thousands of things out there that are already created, most of them around SCORM content. And we do have partnerships available with people that you can bring in predefined and pre-purchased content into your organization. So you don't have to go through building all that if you just want to get the content available for certain things. Some things are common, such as security awareness, OSHA training, things like that. We do leverage partners to be able to bring those predefined courses into the platform.
Okay, another question is, can you go back and show a personal dashboard for an individual?
So to go back to the demo?
I think, yes, that's what it meant.
Sure. So this dashboard right here is already defined for Able. So all of this information is actually tailored to Able even right now. But if you wanted to go deeper, this dashboard is also configurable by your administrators there, like in an organization, so you can change and configure this as well. So this is what we ship out of the box, but it does have configuration flexibility, so you can make sure it meets your needs, whether you may want to disable reading learners or you may want to have other information. But this is all predefined to Able. So Able or anybody else will see an individual dashboard for their own learning portal. And I hope that helps. But if I didn't quite answer that also, I'm happy to do a follow-up with whoever asked that question as well.
Awesome. Well, looks like that is all the questions that we have for now. I want to thank all of our participants as well as Jon for being with us today. We hope this webinar has been helpful for you and your organization. If you have any further questions or would like to request information, feel free to reach out to Harjeet with our ServiceNow team here at CareSoft. His contact information is displayed on the screen, so please feel free to reach out. Thank you again, and wishing everyone a great day.
Thank you, Kristen and CareSoft. With that, we thank everybody for spending their time with us, and we definitely appreciate that. Thank you very much.